Ladies and gentlemen, let me have the honor of introducing Dr. Mahesh Abhyankar. Dr. Mahesh is an author, is a motivational speaker, is a healer, and is a trainer and coach. It's an honor for us today that he has taken a very new theme and topic for his presentation, that is mind gym. You know, we all are aware with the word gym, but this concept is really very new. When Dr. Mahesh shared with me, I was really very excited to know that what exactly we are going to do in the mind gym. And then I have correlated with it with a gym there where we all go for the physical fitness. And then I am looking forward to some of the things that we are going to do to keep our minds fit and fine and healthy. So without disclosing much of his secrets, let me invite Dr. Mahesh Abhyankar to kindly start his presentation. This presentation is going to be for around half an hour. Then after that, we will have one small presentation. And then after that, you all will get the chance to interact with the doctor. And then we all are going to disclose some important things about mental health. Thank you very much for joining us. Please give a big round of applause to Dr. Mahesh Abhyankar. Thank you, doctor. And now over to you.
Thank you. Are the slides visible?
Yes, visible.
Yeah, I think a new concept we are going to today discuss, that is about mind gym and how this physical fitness is very important. But apart from that, the emotional fitness is very important, because the mental health they celebrated 10th of October, and now we are celebrating the mental health week. Sarvepi sukhinas santu, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkam apnaya. That means everybody should be happy, everybody should be healthy. Now, when it comes to the word health, what is important is that what is the meaning of the word health, and how that correlation happens with everybody thinks that health means physical health. So we are more worried about our physical fitness, and a lot of people are, because of the obesity and the future trends, they are joining the gym. But when you look at the definition of health, World Health Organization has defined health, which is a mixture of physical, mental, and social well-being. That means the gym is not only required for physical fitness, but it is also required for mental or emotional fitness, and as well as social fitness. So that is a very, very important point if you go and back to the definition of health. Now, we spend our lot of hours in a day. There is one space which is very important, is family and social space. We spend at least 8 or 10 hours. Then we are at the job. So either we are in the business, or we are in the working environment, or even in the housewife, we have got a lot of jobs to do. And there's the personal space. When you look at all these three spaces, the mental fitness or emotional fitness is required in occupation. It is required during the interaction with the family members or in the society. And as well as it is very, very critical for personal space. Because if we are emotionally fit, logically, it is going to enhance our occupational as well as family space in much better manner. If you go back to the theory about what are the planes in terms of spiritual, the lowest plane is called as body or senses. On the top of that, there is mind. On the top of that, there is the intellect, and then there is a soul called as. So if you look at it, it's Sharir, Man, Buddhi, and then Atman. So man is in between. So obviously, the mind is going to influence the body, or it will going to trigger the senses. It get triggers by the senses. But apart from that, the mind will also affect our thinking power or intelligence. So therefore, the control of the mind or the mental fitness becomes a very, very important point. Now, what is the issue? Issue is that we have never trained. During our educational career, we have been given a lot of knowledge. Sometimes we have been trained for certain skills, or even there is a physical exercise. One of the subject was there during our curriculum in the school as well as college days. But there is no curriculum as, sir, if you talk about mental fitness. So actually, when the person comes, he becomes 20s, 30s, starts his job, have a married life. Now, till the time also, there is no classical training given for how to keep mind fit. So whenever there is a problem starts happening in the life at any juncture of life, then if the person is not mentally fit or the fitness is not up to the level, then there is a chance that he can succumb or she can succumb to the even smallest pressures or stressors, which are very, very important. So coming back to the most important thing about mind is that what is the response for the stress and how the stress originate? What are the different causes why the persons become stressful? One of the very important cause is relationship. I think we have got a strong relationship in our family as well as in the married life. We have got relationship with spouses, kids, parenting, and we have got so much different relationship with friend circle or even the society. So the relationship is one of the very important area where if there is strain or in the relationship at any level, then it creates a very important stressor for the person. And the parenting, because nobody has undergone parenting training, and there is no a lot of counseling is required for once the couple becomes married and once they become parent. So it is very important. Sometimes the parenting causes as a stressor element. The other important thing, as I mentioned, that almost 8-10 hours we spend on occupation, and there is a work-related stress, and the demand from the work which is currently increasing day by day. So initial small amount of pressure is very nice because it reduces the boredom, it puts the person into slightly comfort zone, and a small amount of stress definitely helps in optimal performance. But if the stress level goes on increasing, then automatically there's a lot of strain. And that strain is not only mentally, but it is a strain physically as well as intellectually. And the person becomes burnout. So the tremendous pressure in the work can become a stressor, and there's a chance that person leaves the occupation or frequently changing the occupation. So anything can happen. Or even he changes from occupation, he goes to business. Again, from business loss, he comes to the service. These kind of situations, what we see is because of the stressful work situation. And during the COVID, and there is a dramatic change post-COVID, what we are observed for last 2-3 years, the skills required for the job are tremendously changing. The next important, very common is because India 75 years of independence, but still we have got all kind of social economic strata, starting from the lowest to the highest. So financial difficulties, it creates a problem in day-to-day life. And financial difficulty starts creating problem of worry and anxiety. And that leads to a poor mental health. And again, that leads to, if the mental health is not poor, then automatically the impact on the business or the impact on the service. So it's like a vicious cycle that financial difficulties triggering mental health triggering financial difficulties. And this goes on for years. And sometimes there is a trauma, a mental trauma which has happened during the period of time. It may be accident sometimes, or somebody dies in the family which is very close, and the attachment to the person is very close. So it's very difficult to survive if that person is not there. And even there are a lot of natural calamities. People have got fixed into certain either flood or say droughts or earthquake. There are so many natural calamities comes. So particular trauma or the trauma during the childhood, I think that is the most important issue, is that a childhood trauma, either because of the parents or anybody, that creates a small dent in the mental makeup, and that is called as post-traumatic stress disorder, where the person continuously remembers the same phenomenon. And the normal physical illnesses. People are suffering from diabetes, they are suffering from heart-related diseases. Some people have got cancer, even the brain-related neurological kidney disorders. People are undergoing dialysis. So many physical diseases are there, and then that physical diseases also creates harm to the mental makeup. Patient caregivers, if somebody is there bedridden in the family and person has to take care, the caregiver's responsibility, the caregiver is also under tremendous stress. Suddenly, if you tell the person that, okay, you have to undergo a heart surgery and there are 4 lakhs are required. So it's like monetary pressure as well as the surgery thought. So These all kinds of stressors. So day and day night, we are seeing that the person is succumb to the small amount of stress or even a big amount of stress in day-to-day life. So these are origins, and if you go on listing, it will become very, very important list. But what is important today is that we are borrowing the stress also. Now that is the most important problem. For example, it is called as garbage in and garbage out. So whatever we read, whatever we listen, whatever we get influence from, now that is going to create problem in terms of the mental makeup. If you pick up the newspaper, in the first page of the newspaper, there are 7 or 8 negative news. Or even if you are going to some channels, there is talking about breaking news, and majority of the breaking news, they are got a negative connotation. So by sitting at one particular place, you can't change the picture what is happening in other place. Let us say, for example, Ukraine war is going on, or somewhere Israel war is going on, or somewhere India losing cricket match. So anything happens, but we try to create ourselves. We go into that particular situation and we borrow the stress, right? So during the COVID times also, a lot of people, by looking at the COVID news, they have gone into stress at a very important level. So these are the various stressful risk factors. So every person who is there, if he wants to look at the mental setup, what is important is that, are we borrowing some stress because of doing particular activities which will create a problem? So that is very, very important for origin of different stressor elements. The next is that once you borrow the stress, or once there is a stressful event in life, or there is a stressful any other kind of a stressor, there will be an impact. Because as I told you that the mind is going to interact with the body, the mind is also going to interact with the intellect. So definitely we are going to see the impact of the mental makeup changes which are going to happen. The first impact will be physical on the body. The other thing is that obviously our emotions will be up and down. And the cognition, that means thinking power or memory, higher functions, that will be also affected. So many times the people talk about, I'm not getting sleep. Many people come to us, I'm not getting sleep. Now, actually not getting sleep is not the reason. There is some stressor which is keeping the person awake. That is a most important point. Changes in the diet, overeating, undereating. Many people get pains. It may be a headache or muscular pain. And that actually origin of these pains are basically related to some stressful event, what we call it psychosomatic. Tiredness, lack of energy, especially in the younger population, if person under stress, loss of sexual drive. So a lot of physical things will changes we see if the person is under stress. The another important element is emotional. Person will become anxious, obviously low feeling, not confident. Person is worrying continuously what will happen in the future. So therefore, the person is not able to focus in the present, becomes irritated. And if it is goes for a long period of time, then there is an element of hopelessness, that there is no hope in life, that kind of, And these people try to become isolated. Loneliness starts coming in. Nobody is helping me. That kind of phenomenon starts erupting. And the third component is cognitive. That means the higher functions, person is not able to concentrate. The memory issues happens. The thoughts become negative about life as well as about occupation or a relationship. The decisions are not proper, poor judgment. So all these are the impact if the stress goes on for years. Now, what is important once you are part of Mind Gym is obviously we have to do an emotional audit. Because many times we know the financial audit we do every yearly, or there are quality audits, those who are working into the various sectors. But our own audit, our self-audit, self-awareness, or our mental audit, emotional audit, that is very, very important. So as a third person, if we are under a small amount of stress, we have to analyze ourselves as a third person. What I am feeling, first of all. Why I am feeling, because what is the origin? If somebody is getting irritated, suddenly becoming, he is not feeling low, then why? What is the reason if he has that? How much is the severe? Is the problem creating problem this ultimately in my life? How the feeling is becoming relieved, or how it is getting increased? And the most important is that once we are feeling low, or once you are irritated, or there is sudden temper, any kind of high emotions, definitely it is not only going to affect us, but it will affect the others also. So what is the impact of these emotions on me? And what is the impact of these emotions on the others? And at some stage, obviously, one has to start thinking that how can I change? Because ultimately, once you join any gym, physical, our objective is that we have to make ourselves strength, physical strength. So similarly, once we start doing an emotional audit, our objective is basically that how I can basically change the issues which are there because of the stressor element. So emotional audit will become a very, very important component of the mind gym. And change. Initially, many times, everybody thinks that it's very difficult to change. Right? If you look at the COVID situation, now this kind of digital meetings, nobody was so aggressively doing. But once, and we have not realized that the physical meetings are the excellent meetings. But once the COVID has pushed us, automatically we get accustomed to that. And then there is a readiness for change happen. And today we are doing this particular meeting very comfortably. So that exactly is going to happen once you understand the emotions that yes, I have got some stressor, I have got some problem, or my family member has got some problem. Initially, the family member or ourselves are resistant to change. But slowly, we start the understanding about direction towards positive of change. And then we should become ready that the change has to be in the positive manner. Now, again, even if I talk about mind gym, the whole story will start from physical fitness, right? If we have to maintain our physical fitness by eating proper diet as well as drinking proper amount of water, which is very important, because ultimately if the feeding is not proper, it is going to affect body, mind, everything. The another important point is obviously managing the weight. If the person is obese and he will become automatically dull because of the obesity, so 45 minutes of walking is very important. So what we eat and how we burn the calories, both the things are very, very important. So physical fitness is going to go hand in hand when you talk about the emotional fitness and the habits. Many times the person has got a habit of smoking or taking alcohol, or person has got tobacco chewing. All these habits are there. Now these habits are secondary to some stressful factor which is going on. Why the person becomes addicted to a particular thing is because a stressful event is going on in a micro level of continuous. And then these habits are very difficult to change. If you look at that, I drink beer on the days which ends with Y. So actually all the 7 days, they ends with Y. Smoking is easy to quit. I have tried it many times. So these are the habits which are very critical that a person is not able to change those. And adopting a lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, especially walking or running, doing exercise. Now, these suddenly at the age of 40, at the age of 50, the person is not adopted. That is very critical. The another important point is disease, because if I think in India, almost 7 to 8 crore people have got diabetes, almost 20 crore people have got hypertension, very common illnesses. Thyroid is another common, osteoarthritis is there, asthma. Many common illnesses, but if somebody develops the illness, nothing to worry about it. Recently, I attended one of the conference where after my talk, another doctor's talk was there. So he presented around 50 patients, which are basically 100 years of age, and they are taking insulin for last 50 years. So that means the quality of life with the current medical care which is there is definitely there up to 100 years very easily. But important is that stick to proper medicines, take doctor's advice, do investigations whenever it is required, do a healthy checkup. We spend money in our car servicing, but ultimately for body servicing or mind servicing, there also it is very critical that if required, we can spend money on that. Most important element is today's discussion is adopting a lifestyle where we develop the emotional fitness, which is very critical because ultimately our mind has to be strong during the course of time. And there are many ways. I'm not telling that this one particular way will be suitable, one another will be not suitable. It person to person. So what is important is that every person has to adopt that what is my emotional stress buster. It may be a music for somebody. It may be some cricket maybe for somebody. For example, I like cricket a lot. My daughter likes music a lot. So it differs from person to person. And another important point, what is my inspiration? Because in a way of life, when you are in the 10s or 20s, 30s, 40s, there is an inspiration in life which guides us towards life principles. So it is very, very critical that everyone has to identify that what is the emotional stress buster. So whenever there is the emotional issues, immediately you go, if you listen to music or if you go to the painting, if you do gardening, anything, small, small things, automatically the emotions which have gone to the extreme, they come back to the normal situation. And if you are inspired, then automatically your self motivation becomes very, very high. So according to me, very important point is that hobbies. There are 64 kalas or arts which are mentioned, and every person has got 2 to 3 artistic tendencies. The God has allotted that to each and every person. So whatever hobbies are there, try to spend some time, according to me, around 20-30 minutes in a day. If it is not possible, at least in a week, spend 2 days, couple of hours. That is another way. So automatically during the hobbies, you go away from the whole situation. Whatever may be happening in the world, if you are painting, if you are gardening, or if you are cooking, automatically you are stepping out of the whole scenario and you are focusing on your hobby. And that creates a very nice impact on the mind. The mind becomes soothed. The other is basically reading. This is a very beautiful phrase called as Vatsaltar Vatsal, Vatsaltar Vadal. That means reading helps in basically development. I think autobiographies is very, very important, that how the people have developed over a period of time. And the books which have got a positive mindset, there are many books now that get translated from one language to another language. So beautiful books which are coming from other languages to our own languages, we can definitely read it. Develop a habit of reading every day, at least half an hour. If you spend on reading, automatically within 1 month, you can get to know about two or three books, and it is creating impact. So autobiography, not only a political story, or it may be of Sachin Tendulkar, it may be an actor, actress, might be of Amitabh Bachchan, anybody. So it is very important is that how these people have developed during the time and they have gone to what is called as phase of excellence. So automatically it will motivate us. During the COVID times, as Dr. Halima was mentioning, that this is a book I have written, Emosil, which is a COVID experience. It is one of the bestseller. Dr. Halima also wrote a very nice book on parenting, and I got the opportunity to write the summary of the book in the initially. So this book will also, if time permits, Emosil, definitely you can look it nice. The third important point about emotional fitness is add humor to life. Because what happens many times, the humor changes the whole scenario. If you are suddenly become hot tempered, or there is some extreme argument is happening among either boss or you or at home, it is very essential is that if the humor is there, and develop a habit of humor, it's by either you read it or you go through the motivational or these videos, some channels, comedy books. So I only recommend whenever there is a WhatsApp message comes, I have created a WhatsApp gallery where I collect all the jokes and keep it there. So whenever if I get bored or tired, I just go through all the humorous, funny jokes so that it peps up in the specific period of time. That is very another important area of fitting ourselves emotionally. There is one more very nice element called as Maunam Sarvartha Sadhanam. That means silence. Right? Silence is the instrument that achieves all ends. So what is important is that if you just sit at one place and just keep yourself in a very silent mode for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, automatically all the sensory inputs which are there, they are coming from visual or they are coming from listening or they are coming for testing, smelling, all these things become less. And there's a calmness happens in the mind as well as, because once you cut off sensory inputs, automatically the brain will get less messages and that will happen. But it is required to practice. It's not easy that keeping totally quiet is not so much possible, but the practice is very, very critical. Another beautiful point is what is called as gratitude journal. Develop the habit of in the night, 10 minutes you write down what are the positive things happens during the day. If you have faced the challenges, how we have overcome the challenges, which are the people they have helped us during particular day. You can be thankful for them. So 1 or 2 points, 10 minutes, if you just jot down, that helps. But only thing, try to, and when you jot down diary, if you take it one day and just go through that, all the beautiful, successful messages you will come to know. So success stories, every person has born with talent. And during our lifetime, we have got small, small successful moments. Once we capture that moments, they always step up very nicely towards our beautiful life. And the techniques. Some of the techniques are breathing techniques or yoga. I think that has to be learned. That is very important. You should take an instructor for that or the therapist for that, and you can learn that. And that whenever there is a sudden temper changes, then if the relaxation techniques temporarily keep it down. Now, many important point is that 8 hours we spend in occupation or business. It is very, very important that what will happen mental fitness during that. So here the occupational fitness also is aligned with mental fitness. So what is important is during our occupation is keeping a goal. One of the classical example is Amitabh Bachchan, who has actually become bankrupt during a particular phase of his life. But he started a new career at the age of 57. And he started Kaun Banega Crorepati, and I think almost 12 or 13 episodes of seasons have come, and he has become totally changed. From 57 to 80, his career was new. Recently, there is an example which is given. One of the professor who has after retirement has gone abroad, joined one university, and from 60 to 90, he has done a lot of research, and he got a Nobel Prize at the age of, I think 96 or I think 100 plus. So this is if you are in 40s, 50s, 60s, at least the goal has to be there. Every 5 years, there should be a new goal, which will propel us in a very positive manner. And the upskilling. In our occupation, I am a director in one of the company. So KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitude. Whichever profession we may be, we have to be up to date in the knowledge. We have to be up to date in the skills, and as well as our attitude has to be very, very positive. And that phenomenon is important, that learn new skills. I was in hospital settings. I have taken hospital administration degree. Once I came to pharma sector, then I have taken MBA degree, then clinical research. Recently, during the COVID time, design thinking. So go on learning whatever new things come up in our ladder, and it helps us to keep fit in terms of occupational fitness. And if you are occupationally fit, and there are new skills which are coming in each and every business today, or each and every job today, is one is time management, innovation, what's new you are giving to the organization, the technical adaptation, because it is continuously changing. And whatever job you may be at, whichever manager or leadership position, you should have got a vision. Vision for yourself, as well as the vision for company, or vision for the overall business. The next important point is how to interact with the people. That is a part of social fitness. Our emotional fitness is linked with the people. We don't live isolated. We live with family, we live with society. Social fitness is very important. And always we have to think that in any circumstance in the life that you are not alone. So it is very important is that the new era, what is called as communication and collaboration. During the COVID time, when there was a lot of crisis, there were lakhs of NGOs, they came and helped the people. And that happens on a regular manner. So Sahayog and Sampark. So if required, we should take help from others without hesitation. And if required, we have to give help also to the others. That is very important. And along with our occupation, if we are a part of NGO, we are with the people. It's not like that we are in a social circle, we have to only give money. We can give some time for the NGO. We can be a projector. We can take some specific role, minor role also. And we can spread the message of the NGO, whatever NGO is doing positive for the people. But I think you have to give it to the society, because we have been born in particular society. It is very, very essential. And there's a beautiful phrase, what is called as Dena Rane, Detas Ave, Ghena Rane, Getas Ave. Ghena Rane, Ek Divas, Dena Rase, Hatha. That means the donor has to go on donation on continuous basis. And at some stage, the receiver has to become a donor. And that will lead to a very social wellness. And the ultimate objective, because as I talked about, the soul is one of the very highest. So spiritual fitness is very critical. If you can't go outside, then at least go inside. So it's a beautifully written, Raha pakad ke tu ek chala chal pa jayega madhushala. So what is important? There are various ways of spiritual. It is related to a religion. It may be related to caste. One should follow whatever principles one like. One should read. One should listen, as well as one should do the prayers on own. And one should meet spiritual master, those who have worked in that particular sector. We can do meditation or yoga, whatever technique we adopt. It's not like it's reaching to a particular destination is very, very critical. So in the current age, it is very important is that once we are emotionally fit, joining the mind gym, we are physically fit, automatically we are going towards a new phase called as wellness and ultimately happiness. If you look at the whole life, the principle of life is to become happy. So if we are healthy emotionally or physically, automatically the happiness is going to definitely come. So transforming life is very, very important. And a part of mind gym, it may be a mental fitness, but now it's the health has got many dimensions. So joining a mind gym means actually one should be physically fit, mentally fit, intellectually, occupationally, and socially, as well as spiritual fit. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Doctor. It
Thank
was
you.
well presented and it was nicely explained and it was well demanded. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have second presentation, and let me announce that after second presentation, we will be having question answers. And if you have any questions, you please keep them reserved. Either you write in the chat box or you raise up your hand once it will be announced so that you will get chance to speak up. And let me welcome Colonel Aditya Singhal ji. Thank you very much for joining us, Colonel ji. How are you? Okay, good. Thank you very much for joining. Now, let's move to the next presentation. I'm going to ask a few questions before starting the presentation. I'm going to show you a picture and then I'll ask you that suppose, so this is me, Dr. Halima Sadia, who is an author, edu leader, trainer, coach, motivator, mentor. And some of my quotes that is very close to my heart, and I always repeat them to remind myself that I have to live my life to these quotes. Life is not a race. If you agree, please raise your virtual hands in agreement that yes, life is not a race. There are too much for human need, but there is too little for human greed. If we want to live in this life peacefully, then there is too much, like there is no scarcity, there is no dearth. But if there is human greed, then naturally nothing is sufficient. Journey is more beautiful than destination. Enjoy it. Transparency is key to peace of mind, and love, 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 and nothing else, and lead or led by others. Now coming to the question. On the screen, there are two women. If you are asked to take one of them as a guest to your house, which one are you going to take? Please write in the chat box. You are going to take the right one or the left one. Or let me give you access to speak up so that you can speak and let me know that which one are you going to take. Yes, please unmute yourself and speak.
Left one.
Left one. Okay.
Both.
Colonel ji is saying both. Any other response?
I would invite the women on the left.
Women on the left means the one who is spreading the arms?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Ma'am, I would also like to invite the first one because she's looking happy.
No, you just tell me with a flower or without flower one. That will be distinguished. Maybe with flower or with arms, which one you want?
Arms open.
Arms open you want. Okay, very good. And Any other response? Which one do you want to take home? I think in the chat box, there are many responses. Let me just go through those. Both, arms open, both, first, left. Okay. Thank you very much for your responses, my dear ladies and gentlemen. Now, my next question is that if I tell that the right picture with red rose is the picture of your mom when she was 25 years of age. Now tell me, which one would you take?
Rose.
Probably the woman with the flower.
This woman with the rose is the picture of your mom when she was 25 years of age. Then now, whom would you like to invite to your home? Yes, I can see immediately the answer changed. Answer changed from open arms to the rose one. And the reason is quite obvious. Colonel Aditya ji is smiling. Can you tell me what is the reason why the people have changed their statements within a few seconds?
Because actually, if the lady on the left is the photo of the lady now, and the right is the one when she was 25 years younger. So it is the same lady. And the moment you said mom, so that's why people immediately change their mind to resonate with the their picture of their mother.
Exactly, exactly. When it comes to mom, then nothing can stand in front of mom. So that's what is the magic of our family, and mom is the unit of the family. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to speak about the family's role in maintaining the mental health. As doctor has rightly explained to us that mental well-being includes mental, emotional, social, and psychological well-being. It's not in isolation. It's not something in compartment. It's included of all these well-being, emotional, social, psychological, and mental well-being. And we all are well aware the role of the family in maintaining the social, psychological, emotional, and mental connections with the people, not only inside the house, but the people outside the house. Now, if we talk about that, what exactly the family does to us. So we can very easily see that first of all, in the family, there are members. We have our parents, we have siblings, we have children. We have in extended family, we have like grandparents as well. And first thing that we learn inside the family, that we communicate with each other. We share living space. You know, maybe in one room, there are 2-3 siblings living together. If grandparents come to our house, we give them the space to accommodate with us. So we share the living space. Then in the family, the child raising, the child's upbringing takes place. The child rearing, their education, what the child is going to do in life. Then in the family, lots of fights and conflicts happen, but this is resolved inside the family itself. And then in the family, the people, they take their roles and responsibilities on their own. It is like not dictated by someone, but we accept our role. Maybe sometimes it is acceptable that, okay, mother is not cooking and father is cooking now. It should not be taken like in the negative aspects, because anybody can take any role as per the situation in the family, and the family will support with this. The family is not going to object as the society or the people around us can object on this. Then family follows the traditions, rituals, and they support for each other. They have set value system, they have set belief system, and all the family members are bound to follow those beliefs and value system, although it is not documented anywhere, it's not written anywhere, but it is like undocumented norm that everybody will follow the family rules and family norms and family values. And then above all, in the family, we are economically interdependent on each other. So everybody contributes in the finances of the family. If father earns, father contributes majorly. When mother comes, mother contributes. When the children are grown up, they earn, they contribute. If the grandparents are earning or they have their own money, they contribute. So everybody contributes in the family, and economically they are interdependent on each other. I think so far you all will agree with me that this unit of the family is a unit where we are connected with each other in many ways. Now coming to the mental issues. So now if we are facing any mental anxiety or mental stress or mental issues, then it's the family that is the center stone, we can say. Like getting the help from outside is okay, fine. If the family is not supporting, or if the family is not coming forward, it's really impossible to get rid or to get cured or to get healed from that. How it is going to happen, that we have to look at it now. So support system, in the family, each one of us provides support to each other. So if suppose one sibling is suffering, there are two other siblings, they all will be concerned about that particular member who is suffering. Then the family has social connections, and because of those social connections, we are able to help the person who is suffering, or we are able to maintain each one of us mental health or mental well-being. In the early development, we must say that it is like 80 to 90% role of the family that takes place, because in early development, if family is like a happy place, a place where everything is taken positively, the child has been nurtured in a positive way, so there is no criticism involved, there is no scolding, shouting, yelling involved with the child, then you will find the person will grow in a physically, mentally, emotionally stable person. But if in the early years these things are not provided, you will find that the effect of this negatively upbringing will be seen in the child's personality even in the later year. And this is true. You will find the examples in your surroundings and in your even relatives and friends. In the family, we find the coping mechanism. We find, like, I can give you my own example, that whenever I have any stress at the workplace, or maybe due to the work pressure, I do only one thing. I just pick any family member and I call them. And you will not believe, or spend some time with them, and you will not believe that that is so soothing, that is so stress relieving, that you will find that all the solutions all of a sudden you have received from the family. This is the coping mechanism. In the family also, we have different people, and you will not be having the same understanding with all of them. You will have different understanding with different people. So we have to select that with whom we have good understanding, and accordingly we have to find our coping mechanism inside the family itself. Then while communicating, while speaking up, while we have what is the issue, what we are facing, what we are going through, the communication resolution also happens in the family. Then we feel very safe and secure inside the family. When we are among the family members, you just experience. Here I would request you, just close your eyes for 30 seconds and just try to compare you when you are in the family and you when you are outside the family. And I can very easily compare it, because I have spent many years without family outside the country, and I have spent many years with the family in our hometown and in our home country. So the difference between two is quite obvious. When you are within the family, you find yourself very safe, very secure. And once you are very safe, you are very secure, you are mentally very strong, and you don't have to worry about the external threats. And there are genetic and environmental factors. So these are the explanations of these factors. Now coming to the mental well-being. If suppose you come to know that about a family member, maybe your grandparents, maybe your sibling, maybe your parents, maybe your children, if you come to know about them, that they are suffering or there is some problem, then how we have to start with it? It should start with, first step is that we have to start asking the questions. Like instead of, sometimes what happens that when we are very much attached and we have lots of passion for our family members, we ignore certain things that is not normal. We take it as normal and we ignore it. Like somebody is very irritating, somebody is very like always in anger, somebody is always speaking with a very loud voice, like shouting, then this is not something that has to be accepted as it is. This is something that we have to speak, we have to ask. Although in our family it is taken, oh, it is his nature, and then we all will try to cope up with his nature. So God has created everybody as normal human being. If something is going on abnormally, that means that has to be spoken about, that we have to ask the questions. Then we have to provide balanced support. When I talk about balanced support, it means that whatever is essential to provide the support, that much support we have to give, and sometimes we have to take back. Like it's not helping the people when we are providing everything to the person, and the person will become like paralyzed, that the person is not able to do anything. So like suppose a person has to travel. So instead of like all the time taking the person in the car and dropping him at the particular place, we can do one thing. We can just ask the person to use the public transport, how to use the public transport, help them. Maybe 1 or 2 times we can go on our own with them, and then afterwards we ask them to go on their own. So there was a very beautiful story about this, that a lady suddenly lost her sight, and then she used to work in an office. Then the lady used to go to the office, and the husband has given her lots of confidence that you can do it and you can go to office in the bus. And they said that, okay, I will let you know that at what time bus comes and at what time you have to board, and then how you have to get down and how you have to go to office. Then one day he has shown the way to the lady, and the lady reached the office. And then next day onwards, the lady used to go and then reach office on time. One day what happened that when the lady was getting down, then the gentleman asked, the conductor asked that today you are alone, there is no gentleman with you. Then the lady said, which gentleman? Whom are you talking about? Then he said, there is a gentleman who always come behind you, and he sits behind you, and he is the one who always goes behind you. Then the lady realized that although husband has taught him how to board the bus, how to reach the office, but still the husband used to accompany him without give in his knowledge, because if she knows that he is with him, then she may not gain that much confidence. So to give her the confidence, he used to hide himself, like he used to not let the women know that he is accompanying, and he used to sit at the back. So it is really a very beautiful example when we can make the person self-dependent, make the person self-reliant by giving them the support as much as is essential. And then we have to give them the practical support. Like always we will think that, okay, person will be happy by giving some money, person will be happy by giving some clothes, giving some gifts. So instead of having this type of thoughts, what we have to do, what practical support the person is needed. Like suppose if the person's frustration is because the person is not getting a job, or maybe he has got lots of rejections, and that's why he is into this state of mind. Then in that case, we have to help him how to get a suitable job for him. That will be the practical support to him. Then we have to encourage them to get support. Like suppose if it is like on a level where the intervention is required, from the medical assistance is required, we have to encourage them to go for the medical assistance. And we have to take it as normal, like going to the medical assistance and asking for the mental treatment is nothing, something the people will tag you in the society that you are mental person, and then the person will avoid going to the doctors for this reason. So that we have to make it as a normal, that okay, it's fine if you are facing certain issues, then we can go to the doctor along with us, we can accompany them and we can go with them. Then we have to give them lots of care, and they should understand that yes, my family is there to support me, to care for me, and even if I am not doing the things well and I'm not doing the things normally, still they are there, they are not going to leave me at any time. So these are certain things, although these things are very small things, but if we do purposely with the people, with the family members who are suffering, it's going to make a great impact. So listen, ask questions, and try to understand That is the key of everything. Listening to them, what are they saying? At times we will feel that like they're speaking like a child, or very foolish things they are speaking, but still we have to give them a listening ear so that they can be understood. So my dear friends, within this short period of time, it's not possible for us to give you the entire thing. And although Dr. Mahesh has tried his level best to give you much more within this period of time, but if you really want to learn more about this and to know how to cope up with these type of situations if we are facing, because at times we adult also face these type of things. So if you really feel that it is important for us to learn about this, then I would request you all kindly go through this slide, the slide I'm going to show you now, and then you can decide and you can ask the questions if you have any questions about this. So this is what we are going to have. Dr. Mahesh Abhyankar is going to have for us all, and it's going to be quite beneficial for all of us. So it's going to be like 12 hours course he is offering for us, and the course will be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 3 days, and then 27, 28, 29, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 hours, means 12 hours course it is, and the fee is just 100 USD. So if you are interested, you can always fill the form. The form is already given in the chat box, so that you can contact us and you can be given the details of this course, what exactly is going to be the course materials, how it is going to help you, and all these things. Thank you very much for your patient listening. And now may I request you all kindly unmute yourself if you have any questions, any queries. You are most welcome, please.
So, Dr. Halima, I just wanted to add to what you said about the family support.
Yes.
And most of the time we don't realize it, where we generally tend to sympathize with people for whatever they are going through. But actually what they do need is empathy and not sympathy. Because there's a very, very fine difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is just showing that, yeah, okay, agree, you will
Aditya ji, you are not audible. What happened to your audio? Yes, you are speaking right. Sympathy and empathy. They need empathy. Can you speak again?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now you are audible.
Yeah. So I was saying, instead of sympathy, if we show empathy to them, especially when they are undergoing tough situations and we want to help them, that will make a lot of difference. Because sympathy is just, I would say more of a external thing, which says, okay, we are there with you, we'll help you if you need us, or something like that. But when you empathize, then you also show them that, yes, we feel what you are going through. And as you mentioned, you ask them questions, you ask them what exactly are they going through and what do they need. And then you'll be able to, contribute in a much better manner.
100%, Aditya ji, 100%. Like sympathy will make them weak, but empathy will make them strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it will definitely give courage to come out of the situation faster.
Yes, very, very true, very true. Any questions from the audience? There are many people I can see whom I have to thank. Mr. Abu Bakr, Mr. Ejazuddin, Fatima ma'am, Fawzia Musarrat, Asma Khan, Manjula, Ehtishamul Haksar, Samreen. Then we have Shabana Khan, Advocate Shadab, Shama, Shoa, Sibi, Vidya, and Zikra Mariam. If there is any question, you please just raise up your hand so that we can take the questions from you. Dr. Mahesh, one thing I sometimes think about the people and even about myself, sometimes we are not able to even understand that whether we are going through any abnormal situation or this is quite normal. And we carry on with that, with the suffering. So how we have to overcome this feeling?
Ma'am, even I have a question.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, how to empathize? See, sympathizing with others is okay, we can console them, but how to empathize practically? Like, could you please elaborate on that? How to empathize with others?
Yes. Do you want to take Mahesh ji?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think many times it is very important is that we have to go into the shoes of the person and understand the situation, which is different than just knowing that he is or she is behaving in a particular fashion. Once we go into that the shoes of that particular person, we really realize that what exactly is the real issue, or what kind of problem solving becomes much better at that particular period of time. Right. So the emotional audit, as I mentioned, that the person is not capable at that particular level. But if you are a caretaker, or you are a family member, or you are a friend, and you understand the situation, and if you just tell you will be all right, it will not suffice. You understand the situation, go to the depths of that, try to do as a third person audit, what may be a origin of this particular problem, what may be a stress, how to overcome, whether it is exaggerating the situation, how we can relieve it, and providing help also, whatever capabilities we are there, definitely we can provide the help and create a conducive environment so that the person comes out of the situation fast. So building the emotional resilience at that time, it is very important. Coming to normalization state as fast as possible. So I think be spending time properly with him or her and understanding the situation to a relatively in-depth level and offering solutions whatever possible from our side. But if we are not capable, we can create a situation where the person's try to comes out of the situation fast. Yeah.
Thank you for the answer, sir.
So I would also add on to what Dr. Mahesh said. If you remember when Dr. Halima was talking here, she mentioned, ask them powerful questions. When we ask them powerful questions, we ignite their imagination. We help them come out with the solutions themselves, and we empower them. And when you are empowering them, then they also take responsibility of their actions. Well, at times what happens is we have a normal habit of giving advice. If we find somebody going through a particular situation, we'll immediately give advice. But 90% of the time, what happens is that person may take your advice or in a manner, or may not. But when you are asking questions, you are helping them to think and also come out with solutions. They will take responsibility, and they will definitely be successful in overcoming the situation that they are going through. And that is what is my take on this.
Actually, what I think is that in most of the cases, the people are not able to understand that whether it is anxiety, whether it is a stress, and whether it is normal situation, or whether it is I am feeling down, or I am feeling difficulty, or I am experiencing a stress. So I am addicted to something. So these things actually first we have to understand. The person who is suffering has to understand first, so that, and if the person is not able to understand first, let the others ask the questions and make the person understand. You know, even addiction is also not normal thing. Addiction to anything, we can say. So anything that is going like beyond the normal routine is the symptom of not being mentally stable, or maybe not being mentally healthy, we can say. And or it is going to lead to the mental unwell, what do you say, unwell? Yeah, mental unwell. Any other questions? Fatma ma'am, do you have to ask any question?
Dr. Halima, there is a question in the chat box by Shadam.
Okay.
He says, without sharing anyone, how can we overcome with emotion? And then he had, in bad situations. So if we can elaborate as to what exactly he wants to ask. Shadab.
What I can understand by the question, if I am right, Shadab can tell, or if I am wrong, Shadab can point out. What I can understand is like the person is going through with bad situations or maybe bad circumstances where he is under some mental stress, but the person is not willing to share with someone so that the people will come to know that I have this issue, I have this deficiency. So the person is trying to hide that from the people because maybe there is some trust issue. So that's why I think that's what the Shada wants to know, that how the person can overcome if the person doesn't want to share with someone.
Yeah, I think emotionally, see, what happens is that emotionally, if the person, there is a particular amount of stress or particular amount of situation, and the person has gone into fitness level is not up to the mark. The capability to counter that stress or counter element is weak at that time. Now, there is one phenomenon is that we take a support system and come out of the situation faster. But other situation is that like a self, because every person has been made that he can counter stress in a situation. But only thing he has to adaptability, and he has to undergo training on his own. There is no problem. There are so much data is available currently in terms of you can read the things. It is available on the net. There are videos. You can learn some techniques where you can uplift yourself. But you have now understood the person, as for the question, it is understood that the person is in a bad situation and now he is mentally weak, but he doesn't want take support of anybody. I mean, that particular circumstance is very essentially that self is understood that the situation. Only thing is that uplift the mental setup or mental makeup so that we can counteract that particular situation in a very effective manner. That's the most important point. So whatever relevant for the situation. So the confidence level has to be pepped up. The energy level has to be pepped up. If it is a like trust issue, or you have to share the information about not about the situation, but about the technical points in that particular phase, that also one can do. So without taking help also, one can get, it may take some more time, might be, but still, one has to come out of the situation in a very effective manner. That is very important. And self drive is very important. Spending, it's like gym, how much time we take? We take 1 hour, 2 hours for physical fitness, muscle exercises, building the muscles. Now, similarly, if in the mental fitness also, we have to spend time for that. We have to give justice for that particular purpose and build up emotional strength and come out of that situation. People do on their own. It's not like that the people have been put into the situation. They do try their own and improve their strength by using the techniques. But if you use the techniques automatically, it is much better.
Yes, thank you very much, doctor, for sharing such beautiful and useful information. In fact, you know, there are certain steps that we have to do even before getting into that situation. You know, it's
Prevention.
like
Prevention is much better.
Prevention. So how to take the preventions, that is also important. And I request the people, those who are interested in this and they want to be like, along with physical health, they want mental health as well, to kindly join this 12 hours program. And you can fill the form if you are interested. And really, it's going to be helpful for us. Certainly, I am going to be among them. And I'm going to learn the techniques, how to be mentally fit and how this mind gym is going to work upon us. So thank you very much. Yes. Any other questions?
I don't have a question per se, but I would like to add something to Shadab's question, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, basically, if you feel in such a way, you don't have to do extraordinary things. Just go for a walk and meet random people, meet random strangers, just chat with them, not about personal things or anything, just chat and then get to know, be acquainted with them, become friends. Or you can just go for a park and people will be playing some kind of things, or there will be people at parks. So just strike up a conversation. If they are playing something, go and ask them, may I join? Or I don't know how to play, but I would like to join. By playing or doing something, I think the best way to escape or prevent from this situation is to not think about it constantly. So getting distracted is a really good way of getting outside of the situation. That's all.
Wonderful, wonderful idea you have given. Who are you?
This is Sibi Charan, ma'am.
Yes, Sibi.
Sibi.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's really very practical. And in my school, what I used to do is that whenever any such situation arises, I used to go to the KG section. You know, there when you are with along with the small kids, they are laughing, they are enjoying, they are dancing. So you can just change your mood from adverse to the positive. So that this is really good if you change your position, and if you go to the place where people are like happily enjoying and happily playing something like that. So it is really good. Okay, so I think thank you very much. This is time to thank each one of you. And it was really a nice session. It was well, although it was supposed to be on 10th, but we couldn't do it because Dr. Mahesh was very, very busy. And then we postponed, and we are doing here on 12th. And then I requested Dr. Mahesh that only one session if we are doing, and suppose if somebody has some genuine questions, they won't be able to ask here in the meeting in front of everyone. As Shadab has rightly said, that they don't want to disclose the things. So that's why this program, 12 hours program that we are offering, it is exclusively that if somebody wants one-to-one, we will provide them one-to-one sessions as well, so that their privacy is maintained. And otherwise it is going to be in the group coaching. And then it is going to be helpful for all those who are really believing in the prevention. You know, कोई चीज खराब हो जाती है, उसके बाद उसको सही करना ज्यादा मुश्किल है बनिस्बत. First, we have to take precautions and try to be healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. So I think it's going to be a very, very beneficial program. Thank you very much, Dr. Mahesh, for offering this program for all of us. And thank you, each one of you, for being here. Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you, Abu Bakar. Thank you, Kanal Aditya. Thank you, Ejaz. Thank you, Fatma. Thank you, Fauzia. Thank you, Mr. Ehtashamul Haq. Thank you, Mohammad Rizwan. Thank you, Samreen. Thank you, Samsung. Thank you, Shadab. Thank you, Shama. Thank you, Shoa. And thank you, Sibi Charan. So
Thank you all.
very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Halima and Dr. Abhyankar. It was really a
Thank
very,
you.
very insightful session. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Colonel. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
And good to see you, Dr. Halima, after a long time.
I'm always here, but you are not seen.
I know. Now I will be more regular in your sessions. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thank you.